Hey YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul, and welcome to another remake video. Today we're making Cardi B's track Be Careful, so let's get straight to it. First things first, let's set our tempo to 152 beats per minute. We're gonna start off with that main keyboard sound. Now I'm gonna pull in the channel strip setting I put together in a couple tutorials ago. This is where you see the useful of these channel strip settings, and it's gonna be that Cardi B keyboard right here, Cardi B Be Careful keyboard. If you want to learn how I put that together, click the card in the top right hand corner. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. All right, so there is the first 4 bars. Next, let's get the next 4 bars. So I'm actually just going to copy this over because it's pretty much the same, just changes up a little bit. So at the end here, this changes up. All right, so here is the entire pattern. All right, so that sounds good just like that. If you guys are wondering, if you didn't click back to the tutorial, this is simply an electric piano, and that we just manipulate a little bit with a little bit of channel EQ and some reverb to give it some of that space. All right, so next let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And we're gonna create that 808 that's heard in the track. We use Logic's ES2 synthesizer. We'll be using that 808 preset. All right, let's go ahead and just close this for now and just draw in the pattern first and then manipulate the sound later. Just draw in that pattern, go down to a nice low octave. I'm gonna drag this over. that keyboard, let's go ahead and open up the ES2 synthesizer and adjust this a little bit. We're going to pull up the attack so it's not so clicky. We're going to pull down the sustain a little bit. Pull down the release. We're going to add in a little bit of distortion here. Add in a little bit of drive. See if we pull down the decay a little bit here. Alright, next what we're going to do is pull up an EQ. And we're just going to get this sounding just more bassy than anything. We're going to go ahead and just pull down our highs. Maybe we'll cut out a little bit of that rumble as well. And right there, what we get is that really just low end rumble that you're going to hear in your subs. I'm just going to shorten up this last note here. All right, that flows a little bit better. All right, next, let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And let's go ahead and bring in our kick. We'll bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument and bring in the Be Careful drum kit. Make it nice and loud. All right, so let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. There are 2 kicks at the intro, and we're gonna draw that in right now. So here we go. And that just repeats itself like this. My kicks are a little bit clicky here, so I'm just going to go ahead and open up an EQ, and I'm going to cut out some of the highs. All right, so that sounds good just like that. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate this track. We're going to move the EQ, and we're going to draw in the open hat. I'm going to draw that in. That sounds good just like that. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate this track. And let's go ahead and draw in the snares or the rim shots. Make this louder. All right, so I'm just gonna make that a little bit louder here. All right, sounds good just like that. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate that track And let's draw in those hi-hats. Let's just duplicate that. Next, let's go ahead and bring in those Vox samples from the track. So I'm just going to bring in that sample. So here is the first one. I chopped it up from the original song. Here's how the first one sounds. Pull in the second sample. Let's pull this one back over here. All right, let's go ahead and draw in that third sample. Just to make this flow better in the track, I'm going to bring in Logic Space Designer. And we're just going to add some reverb here. Alright, so that's pretty much for the intro. Next, let's get to arranging the track and just adding a little nuances here and there. Alright, so for the next section of the track, this keyboard gets moved over. The hi-hats come into play. Alright, so that's it for that section. Let's go on to the next 8 bars, copy over the keyboard and hats. Actually, the hats come out. We get a new snare pattern and kick pattern. So let's go ahead and draw that in. Let's start off with the kick. Alright, so that pattern just duplicates itself over the 8 bars. Alright, let's go down to our snare section and draw in the new set of snares. All right, let's copy that pattern over the 8 bars. All right, so that's for that section. Then we're going to go ahead and move over here. We're going to copy over the same pattern. And then we're going to copy over the 808. And then we're going to copy over this section once again. And what happens here, our first set of kicks come into play. Our first set of snares come into play. And our open hats come back in. vocal chops come back in. All right, next let's move on to the next section. We're going to go ahead and copy this over once again. All right, next we're going to copy over this section. This time we're going to bring in the hi-hats. And we're bringing the vocal chops as well. All right, next what we're going to do is copy this over. We're going to bring back the 808s. And we'll bring in our open hats. And on this hi-hat pattern over here, it's going to switch up a tiny bit just at the end of the 4 bars. We get a little stutter happening. So let's just draw that in. And then it happens once again over here. There's a lot of changes up in this song. Not many instruments, but a lot of arrangement changes. All right, then we're going to copy over this initial section over here without these. We're going to take out the hi-hats. And you know, we'll just end off with the hi-hats and keyboard. I'm going to round up the arrangement right there. Like I said before, there's a lot of changes every 8 bars, but this is pretty much the pattern. They just kind of duplicate this for the rest of the track. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and listen to the remake we just put together, Be Careful by Cardi B. So that is Cardi B's Be Careful remade in Logic Pro X. For your Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys. You can find that session in the description box below this video. For you non-Logic users out there, got your back as well. I'm going to go ahead and export all these MIDI stems, all these audio stems, and of course include the drum kits that you heard in this tutorial. You can find that entire plate pack in the description box below this video. That's it for me, guys. If you have any question on this, you can ask me in the comment section below. For more good videos like this one, remember, thumbs up, share it, and of course hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.